Chapter 16 of Udyoga Parva. Surya is your father. Just before Krishna left for Upaplavya, he took Radheya in his chariot along with Satyaki. He took him to a place far removed from the haunts of men. He left Satyaki in the chariot and walked some distance with Radheya's hand linked in his. Suddenly he began to speak. Krishna said, Radheya, you are a good man. You have ever been true to Dharma. Why do you support this sinful Duryodhana? You are well versed in the Vedas and the Vedangas. You have mastered all the holy books and you know the very heart of righteousness. You know Dharma with its subtle shades, which are so many. Why then do you do this sinful act? Radheya smiled and said, You are right, my lord. A righteous man should not side with a sinner. But Duryodhana is different. I love him. I love him too much to judge him as others do. He has been my friend. The world has looked askance at me and my valor. It is because I am a Sutaputra. But Duryodhana is the one man who is above all that. Never once has he remembered that I am a Sutaputra. Krishna, you may know about it, or you may not. But once in the city of Hastinapura, many years ago, I came in search of a living. There was a tournament going on there. The princes had just finished their training under the great Drona. This same Drona had refused to teach me anything since I was a Sutaputra. I went to Bhargava for my learning. You must know that I was cursed by him too, because I was a Sutaputra. Well, as I was saying, the princes of the Kaurava house had just finished their training under Drona. My visit coincided with a great display of the skill of all the princes. I was just standing by. I had no intention of announcing myself, but the smug conceit of Arjuna was just intolerable. I just had to challenge him. I did, and I was not allowed to fight with him since I was a Sutaputra. When I was being insulted by your beloved Pandavas, it was this noble minded Duryodhana who took up my side. He made me king of Anga. We clasped hands. I asked him what I could do in return for his regal gesture. Nothing, he said. I want just your heart. Krishna, my lord, years have gone by since this incident took place, but my heart has always been with this king. I can never pass my judgment on him. I have only two people who love me, and they are Duryodhana and Radha, my mother. I live just to please these two. I am not very enamored of this life of mine, but as long as I am alive, this heart belongs to these two and only to these two. Krishna was silent for a moment. Then he looked at Radheya and said, Yes, the debt of gratitude is the most difficult to pay. Radheya, I suppose you know about your birth. Do you know who you are? Do you know your mother? Radheya smiled and shook his head. He said, Not much, my lord, but I know that some high-born maiden must have borne me when she was an young girl. She must have lived in the palace of a king. I have a feeling she was a princess. I know too her palace was on the banks of a river. This girl evidently was more fond of her reputation than her newly born child. She abandoned me. She placed me in a box and set me afloat on the river, which hugged her palace walls. Why should I bother to find out who she is? She has not bothered about me. She has forgotten me. She must now be having some more children. I am sure they are more fortunate than I was. Radheya paused for a few moments. His lips were curled up in a smile, half sad and half sneering. Krishna was looking at him with a strange expression in his eyes. Radheya resumed his talk. He said, But, Krishna, really, I have no regrets. I have a lovely and loving mother. No one can be like her. She is proud of me. But why this talk of my birth and my mother now? That is all dead and buried in the distant past. Let us talk about the present. Krishna smiled at him. He looked at Radheya with great affection and great pity. His eyes were wet. His voice was very gentle. He said, Radheya, you are right. Your mother was a high-born maiden. When you were born, she had to abandon you because she was afraid of the censure of the world. She was a princess. She has children now, more than one. But her heart is empty. She thinks of only you, the beautiful child, born with the Kavacha and the Kundalas, whom she abandoned long ago. Her heart is aching for you. Radheya was amazed to hear this. He said, But that means that I am not a Sutaputra. I am a Kshatriya. Can this be true? You talk as though you know who my mother is. Krishna, do you know her? Is she alive? Can I see her? Tell me everything. I am eager to know who I am. Please do not keep up this suspense. Krishna took Radheya's hand in his. He made him sit down. He said, Radheya, prepare yourself to hear the truth. Your mother is the mother of 5 sons, 5 heroes who have no equals in this entire world. Radheya's heart was beating fast. His breath was coming in gasps. He said, 5 sons, 5 heroes who have no equal in this entire world. Surely, you do not mean the Pandavas? His frame was trembling with emotion. He looked at Krishna. Krishna was trying to speak as softly as he could. He said, Yes, Radheya, they are the Pandavas. The Pandavas are your brothers. Kunti is your mother. You are her eldest son. Your birth happened before she was married to Pandu. Radheya gasped out, My father? Who is my father? Please tell me that. Krishna said, This God whom you worship every day, this God whom you have chosen as your Ishtadeva, this Surya is your father. Radheya fainted away. Several moments passed. Radheya woke up. He turned his pathetic eyes towards Krishna. He said, Indeed, I am the most unfortunate of all beings. Surya is my father. The great Kunti is my mother. The 5 Pandavas, the noble Yudhishthira, the mighty Bhima, the chivalrous Arjuna, the handsome Nakula, the wise Sahadeva are all my brothers. And I have been a Sutaputra to the world all these years. Why? Bhargava with his inner eye must have known who I am. That is why he cursed me. God, how can I get used to the idea that the Pandavas are my brothers? Tears flowed from his eyes. There was no way of stopping them. So they sat silent, Krishna and Radheya, for a while. Suddenly, Radheya wiped his eyes with his forearm and said, Krishna, my lord, you must have known this truth for the last so many years. Why was I not told? Why do you tell me all this now? Ignorance was bliss. For the last so many years, I have been wanting to know who my mother is. Now you tell me? Why did you tell me now? I was very happy hating the Pandavas. Now you have come and upset my mental balance. Why did you do it? You must have a reason for this action of yours. Why did you tell me now? Why? Krishna's eyes were full of compassion. He said, I wanted to save you from certain death. Radheya, I want you to live. You know all about dharma. You know that a son born to a woman when she was a maiden becomes by law the son of the man she marries. Accordingly, you are a Pandava. You are the eldest of the Pandavas. You are a Pandava on your father's side. You are a Vrishni, my cousin, my relative on your mother's side. Come with me now. I am going to Yudhishthira. Your brothers will fall at your feet. All the kings who have assembled to help the Pandavas will honor you as the eldest Pandava. You will be crowned by them as their king. You will be the king, and Yudhishthira will be the Yuvaraja. He will lead the white horses of your chariot to your presence and lift you to your seat. The dark and beautiful Draupadi will belong to you, since you are a Pandava. Yudhishthira will get into the chariot after you. The mighty Bhima will hold the umbrella over your head. Your younger brother Arjuna will be your charioteer. He will hold the reins of your horses. Nakula, Sahadeva, and I will be walking behind your chariot. My dear Radeya, you are a great archer. You are like Arjuna in that. You are very righteous. You are like Yudhishthira in that. You are very affectionate. You are like Bhima in that. Your mastery over the art of fighting is so very graceful. You are like Nakula in that. You are very handsome and very wise. You are like Sahadeva in that. I am surprised that no one has noticed all this all these days. Your dark days are over. Radeya, come with me. I will make you king of the world. More than that, you will find 5 brothers and a mother who has been longing for you. Come. Radeya looked long and steadily into the eyes of Krishna. He said, in your affection for me, you have told me about my brothers. I am certainly a Pandava according to law. Kunti gave birth to me. All that is true. But, my lord, she threw me away. She did not want me. Athiratha found me floating on the river Ganga, and he gave me to his wife Radha. She took me into her bosom with affection. Her breasts were full of milk when she took me in her arms. She became my mother. I feel that she is my mother and not Kunti. Without being my father, Athiratha has given me the affection of a father. He is my father. My heart is bound up in them. I cannot disengage my heart from that bondage. Not all the wealth of this world, nor heaps and heaps of gold, nor any newly found joy, nor fear can make me swerve from the path of truth. I cannot be false to myself. I owe a debt of love to Duryodhana. He is my friend. I have followed a certain pattern of love. I have formed my friendships and my loves and my enmities. My friendship with Duryodhana is the greatest event in my life. Hard in its wake follows my enmity with the Pandavas. I have sworn to fight to a finish, a duel with Arjuna in the war. No amount of temptation can lure me to be false to my friend. Your temptation is great. You dangle in front of me a name, great fame, and a wealth of affection from 6 noble souls. But you cannot tempt Radeya. I am very jealous of my name and my reputation. Krishna, if I do not fight this promised duel with Arjuna, what is to become of my name, my fame? I am keen on only one thing, a good name. I know you mean well. You want to save me, and so you are calling me. The Pandavas are protected by you. They cannot be defeated in the war. Krishna, I am with a doomed man, Duryodhana. I will die for him. That will be a glory for me. I cannot have the affection of the great Pandavas. But then I have never been fortunate. I have been the chosen target of fate. The one pleasure to which I was looking forward was the duel with Arjuna. In your affection for Arjuna, you have now ruined my morale. Knowing that he is my younger brother, how can I fight with him? But I must fight. Krishna, you know that I will not abandon my friend. Why then did you have to tell me the secret of my birth today? I wish I could be angry with you for this you are doing, yet I cannot be. I feel that you are also interested in me and in my welfare. If you are really and genuinely interested in my welfare, in my getting a good name, will you do me just one favor? Krishna, who had been listening with his eyes downcast, looked up suddenly. His eyes were bright with unshed tear. He said, certainly, I will do it. Radeya took the right hand of Krishna in his and said, Promise me that you will keep this a secret till my death. If the noble and righteous minded Yudhishthira knows that I am his brother, his elder brother, he will not accept the kingdom for himself even if he wins it. He is a righteous man. Let him be king. I know that he will be monarch of this world. He has Krishna to guide him through his life. He has Arjuna to fight for him. His commander is Bhima. Nakula and Sahadeva are the chief fighters on his side. I know that he is going to win. Ours is a lost cause, but Krishna, unsuccessful life, like love unreturned, has its own rainbow. You cannot have a rainbow in life unless there are tears to be lit up by the setting sun. Mine is such a life. I am hoping for this rainbow to light up the last few days of my life and illuminate my path to dusty death. Krishna, you are now trying to cloud my mind with these new affections thrown in my path. But my path is clear to me. Krishna, perhaps this is the last time we meet as friends. We are parting from each other. We will meet again on the battlefield. I may be able to cross the great ocean called the war. If I do, why? I will meet you. But I know that I will not be able to live through the war. I will be killed. I am hoping to reach heaven because of my death on the battlefield. I know very well that I will die on the battlefield. I am sure of the fact that the Pandavas are going to win this war. What makes you so sure? Asked Krishna with a smile. Radheya said, I know it. The war which is to be fought on the field called Kurukshetra is a sacrifice. You are the master of ceremonies and Arjuna is the star performer. The other brothers will all be puppets in your hands. You are going to move them hither and thither. The end is clear to me. The sons of Dhritarashtra and all of us, Bhishma, Drona, myself, and all the kings of the earth, are meant to reach the heaven, meant for those who die on the battlefield. I have also been having dreams, Krishna. I am good at reading meanings into dreams. My dreams tell me clearly that the Pandavas are going to win this war. I saw Yudhishthira eating sweet meat payasa from a golden bowl. I saw Bhishma standing on a mountain top, glaring at the world spread out in front of him like a cloth. I saw you and Arjuna glowing with an unearthly glow. I saw Nakula, Sahadeva, and Satyaki dressed in beautiful white silks with garlands and jewels on their necks and arms, looking at me with smiling faces. I saw all of us on the side of Duryodhana traveling towards the south. I know, Krishna, that we are all going to die very soon. I am not worried about that at all. I have been warned enough about this end of mine. I know that the end of sacrifice will be near when you see me killed by Arjuna. When Dushasana lies bleeding on the field, with his blood reddening the lips of Bhima, when Drona and Bhishma fall on the field of battle, killed by the sons of Drupada, when Duryodhana falls down with his thigh broken by Bhima, I know that all this is going to happen. I can see the entire picture before my mind's eye, like a picture unfurled in front of me. I am not sorry for myself. On the other hand, I am looking forward to the end of the war. I am impatient for the end. I am tired, Krishna, tired of this life. I want to reach heaven, because heaven holds all for which I sigh. I will meet you in heaven, my Lord. There I will meet my brothers too, and my father and my mother. It will indeed be heaven, but now we must part. Krishna embraced the great Radheya and wrung his hand lovingly. Radheya brushed away his tears and smiled a sad smile. Together they walked back to the chariot. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.